Hello, coin collectors out there. This is Dylan from the Big D Coins channel. And a lot of questions we get on the channel are about when the United States switched over from silver in their coins to copper nickel combination. So I decided I'd make this video about the 1964 coins and the 1965 coins. So as you can see on the left, we have the nickel, dime, and quarter. Now one of these is not like the other, so let's start with that one right there. The 1964 nickel and the 1965 nickel. So you might have already guessed it if you're an experienced investor. There was no metal content change from 64 to 65. The most recent change in the design of the nickel came in 1938. From 1938 to 2003, for quite some time, there was no design or metal content change. So these two right here are both exactly the same metal content. They're both copper nickel. They weigh 5 grams. Diameter is the same. Thickness the same. So copper nickel all the way through. Unlike the dime and the quarter that we see over here, those are copper nickel clad over copper. These ones right here are just copper nickel all the way through, no covering on them. So you can see that example by flipping it over on its side, and you see you don't see any copper showing through on the side. It's just a continuous kind of metal content all the way through. So in 1964, there were over 1 billion of these produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and there were also over 1 billion produced at the Denver Mint. So there were a lot of these produced. 1965, the mintages actually went way down. In 1965, there were only 136 million of these produced, the nickels. Considering there were 2 billion produced, 1 billion at each mint the previous year, I guess it kind of makes sense for them to tone it down a little bit as far as the mintages go. So this next row we have here are the 64 dime and the 65 dime. So there is a shift right here. It shifts from silver on the left, 90% silver on the left, to on the right a copper nickel clad combination over a copper core. So that's most noticeable, as you probably know, when you flip it over on its side. So that is what the rim of the 1964 dime looks like, and this is what the rim of the 1965 dime looks like. So a very visible difference right there. The mintages might actually surprise you. So in 1964, the last year that these had silver in them, there are actually quite a lot that were produced. There were 1964. There were over a billion produced at the Denver Mint, and there were 929 million produced at the Philadelphia Mint. So that's a silver coin. So that's a 90% silver, and they're making over 1 billion of them. So an absolute ton. And then in 1965, guess what? They continued to just crank out a lot of these coins. There were 1.6 billion made in total. They were only made at the Philadelphia Mint. So you can, the lighting might be a little bit challenging, but you can probably see the metal content difference between the coin on the left and the coin on the right. Now as we scroll down right here, same situation. 1964 quarter, which is 90% silver, and then a 1965 quarter, which is a copper nickel clad with a copper core. Flip it over on its side, straight silver. Flip it over on its side, copper nickel clad with copper showing through. So let me get you the mintages for these as well. So 1964, the last year that they had 90% silver, there were 564 million produced at the Philly, 704 million at the Denver. In 1965, there were only produced oops, let me scroll over here. 1965 for the quarter, they were only produced at the Philadelphia Mint. So the Philadelphia Mint in 1965 was the only mint producing both quarters and dimes, but not nickels. There were nickels produced at the Denver Mint in. Actually, no, there were just nickels at the Philadelphia Mint in '65. Sorry, started to get my facts confused there. So, I guess now that I've started to kind of ramble a little bit, I'll wrap it up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this sneak peek into the difference between the 1964 nickels and 1964 nickels, dimes, and quarters, and the 1965 nickels, dimes, and quarters. In summary, no difference in the nickels. 90% silver difference in the dimes and quarters. So I'll wrap it up by saying if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate the subscriptions. That's a great sign. Hopefully continue to grow this channel. So take care, everyone. Have a great day.